So for the most exciting part, right? The birth. What do you use to prepare for the birth?
What
So
did you use?
I used the Clariderm spray to prepare everything down there for baby to come out with no tears, no crazy stuff happening. And I started using the Clariderm about 3 to 4 weeks before, and I would use it like maybe, you know, I keep it out in the bathroom so I could see it, and every time I use the bathroom, like once or twice, maybe 3 times a day, I would apply it. And
That's a
you
good
know,
tip.
if I would go for a day without, no stress, but just try to apply it when you remember.
Yeah.
A couple of times a week. And so this has myrrh, let's see, myrrh, tea tree, lavender, all the oils in it that helps you to just soften up your skin and help you stretch easily and not to have any tearing. So, and that was totally what happened. It was a fast delivery and it didn't tear, so that was a good testimony for the Clariderm spray.
That's awesome.
And then for actual delivery, so like I said, my delivery this past time was like 2 hours. It was super fast. But before I went into it, I knew that I needed some emotional oils to support me along the way. So Stress Away was one of the oils that was like, I want stress away on me. I want to be able to smell it. And so I put it on my wrist, just applied on my wrist so I could, as I was going into contractions, I could just like bring my hands up and just smell it and just, you know, like, because most times I would be like on my knees and so my head would be down by my hands anyway.
Perfect.
Right? And this was like an amazing thing to be smelling
Wow.
throughout. And you know how it is when you're like in the moment pushing, you don't really think about it until afterwards. Like you realize after the contraction's over, you're like, oh, that was like,
Helpful.
yeah, very helpful.
So one thing my labor was over a few days, so I actually used frankincense when I first started, not a few days, a few weeks, like off and on. So when I actually initially started labor, I was 5 centimeters. So labor doesn't mean maybe the day that it starts. It could be a process of your body getting ready, and that's what happened. So those early times, I put frankincense on my arm, and I was on my birth ball sitting, and I'd put my head on my bed with my arms up.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, did the frankincense like just center and calm? It felt like somebody was hugging me. It was
So
awesome.
awesome.
It was phenomenal. And I had a ton of oils out. I said, I don't know what's gonna work, what's gonna be helpful, what's not. And you know what I gotta say? I don't know if you tried it in labor or really throughout my pregnancy. I go hard for Copaiba. I love that stuff for pain, but it was not. Deep Relief was really helpful throughout my pregnancy, in labor, and after. Deep Relief for me was killer. I know Pain Cream was for you, but Copaiba, so that was something I had on hand. I was like, I'm gonna need that, and it wasn't very helpful for me.
For during the...
For really a lot of the pain that I dealt with.
Oh, okay, gotcha. For pain
Personally.
specifically. Okay.
Yeah. But the frankincense definitely helped center me for my labor. And then this was a cool story. I told it in my birth story, but my midwife, and I was closing my eyes in between contractions, and all of a sudden I'd start smelling, like my eyes are closed and I start smelling something, and I'd inhale very deeply, and I'd open my eyes, and there was like an oil right under my nose. It wasn't Young Living. I couldn't read a label. I was in labor. I don't know if it was Young Living or not. But after I delivered the placenta and everything, I said, you know, I was expecting to use so many more oils in the active labor. My husband put lavender on his arms, and he had his arms around my neck, but it still wasn't strong enough for me to smell, genuinely.
Okay.
But she was holding this oil like right under my nose, and I loved it. So after I had the baby, I said, what was that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know if it was an oil. It was a bigger bottle than our oils. And I was like, what was that? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, it smells very similar to Valor. And she goes, that's what it is. It's Valor. And I was like, that so helped like center me, bring me in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wish she would have held it there the whole time. Like every 2 contractions, it was like, there you go.
Wow.
And she says her experiences, this is like, my midwife was a very old lady. She was like, it really, I feel like when I give that to women to smell aromatically, that it really helps them find like the courage, like the unction to get through it.
Yeah.
And it really does.
So I applied that on my wrists as well, along with Stress Away. Wow, like I totally agree with you, Amber. Complete game changer, and I've heard
Yeah.
so many of my friends say the same thing. And then I had Leroy put it on my shoulders. I don't know why shoulders, but I've heard that a lot of my friends have used it on their shoulders too. And so it was just like the only thing I wanted during, like, just like you, if you probably would have known or been aware enough, you would have asked for it. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, the only thing I wanted during the actual like end of the birth was like Valor. Leroy's like, do you want more oils? And I'm like, just, yeah, on my shoulders, whatever that was. And it was Valor. So get yourself some Valor. That stuff
Absolutely.
is amazing. Yeah. And
These are the things I would never, like, having gone through it, go through it again. Lavender was nice. I had it diffused through the room. I had a lavender bath bomb in my bath. But it was nice. It was calming, but it wasn't strong enough. Maybe if she would have put, I don't know, because it didn't happen, but maybe if she would have put lavender under my nose, it would have been nice having that calming. But I really think
Valor's the ticket for birth. And then
that's what I experienced.
Deep Relief. Did you use this during birth at all?
I did, yes, on my back.
Okay, so that's yeah, I wanted to recommend that too, because I've heard mine was so fast I didn't get the chance to use any oils, but I've heard so many friends say you can't do birth without Deep Relief
Yeah.
on your back. If you have any back labor or you get really tight in your shoulders, like, it's a great oil to put on.
I did put it on my back, and it would take off the edge of the pain. And again, that was the only thing that
Yeah.
even did anything for me in labor. It's a very intense experience, to say
Yeah.
the least.
Cool. All right. So then, myrrh essential oil is amazing. Like I was telling you, it's in the Clariderm spray, but it's like a liquid bandage. And so we applied it to our baby's umbilical cords, because it also helps to keep out any infections. Just helps to seal off that umbilical cord really quickly, and help it to dry up and heal very nicely.
So my
recommend
poor
that.
baby, it's supposed to dry up and fall off. When
Yeah.
did his fall off?
Within like maybe 4 days, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So typically it's a week to 2 weeks, because it really needs to be dry, but my babies fell off at 3 days, and it was gooey inside still. Was yours completely dry?
It was a little bit gooey for Zakai as well.
Yeah. It was just like whatever they clamped it with kept being rubbed by the pajama, so it fell off too
Oh.
early, and it's actually supposed to dry out. So we did use myrrh too,
Okay.
because there was like, it looked like it was kind of getting, it wasn't gonna. I'm glad I had it.
Yeah, and that's a great. I'm glad you said that, because I didn't just apply it once. Like, it wasn't just like one time the
Yeah.
first day. I kept applying it several times. Like, I think, like 2 or 3 times a day
Yeah,
until
every
it
diaper
fell
change.
off. And yep, that's a great idea. Every diaper change.
I
And
put it on
so-
after it fell off, when it was still gooey inside.
Me too. Yeah, it's a great disinfectant and keeps it nice and clean.
And then the last thing here is, Amelia told me with her firstborn, they anointed the baby afterwards, and I just thought that is so special.
Yeah.
So what did you anoint him again?
Yeah, so we anointed like right after he was born, and it's such a special time. Like, we just asked everybody to leave the room, and like it was like our little sacred moment.
Wow.
Just
Was it right after?
yeah, so I would say probably they had to do like all the checking and make sure that, I think it was after they clamped they cut the cord, so it pulsed out, and so it wasn't like immediately after, but as soon as we could find a little moment to have to ourselves, and we just dropped Leroy dropped a couple drops of frankincense in his hand, and just rub it around, just rub your hands all over your baby, head to toe. You can't apply too much. The frankincense actually helps to regulate the breathing, heartbeat, all of that. So the sooner you can get it on your baby, the better.
Wow.
So yeah. What was your
Ours,
experience?
we were looking for a good moment to like just have a special moment. Going into our birth, we didn't know what gender we were gonna have, and we also didn't have like name choices that we really liked. We had no name, so we didn't name our baby till the next day. And when we did, it was leading up to the birth. I thought, I really want it to rain when I'm in labor. I just want it to pour. I love the feeling of it like being stormy out, and I'm in here doing my thing. And it rained prior that day, but not while I was birthing the baby or in labor. And so when we named her, the minute we started, when labor really got intense for us, I played the song called Abba. It's a really long song. So when we knew her name, which was the next day, we anointed her with sacred frankincense, and we just dropped it on her little head, and we named her, and we had that song going on. And as soon as we went to begin to pray, it started pouring so hard. It was such a strong rainstorm, and we probably prayed over her for about a half an hour. Philippe was blessing her and giving her her name, and as soon as we stopped praying, the rain stopped, and it was just like we were sobbing. We had this song that was so powerful. And Philippe's prayer, he actually found a prayer and prayed that over her and blessed her, and then he prayed. And it was everything the song was. It was like that song, it says like, Abba, I belong to you. Like, it was all about just like rededicating our little one to the Lord, and it was like beyond. And then to have this oil that Jesus was given, we have it in our hands, and it was the same kind of oil that he was given, was so powerful.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience to be able to anoint and dedicate and your child. It's awesome.
So that was our happy, healthy, natural home birth.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go into birth without, these are my ride or dies and deep relief. I know hers are her ride or dies too, so make sure you get them all.
Right. And let us know if you have any questions or about anything that we talked about. I'm really curious where you found the prayer for the baby.
I don't know. Philippe found it. He actually took a long time to find what he wanted.
Because that's not really something that you would find just anywhere. So
right,
maybe something that they too would be wondering where they could find something.
Well, I will post it in the comments. And guys, hey, like, we are all different, and you know what? I want to mention this too. I didn't mention it throughout our recordings, but one night I had really bad heartburn, and I just went to my oil cabinet. I didn't have Digest, or you know what? I probably did, but I hate the way it smells, so I didn't want to rub it on.
Me too.
I was sleeping, sitting up. It was like 4 a.m., so finally I grabbed my favorite oil, Alimi. I put it on my tummy, instantly took away my heartburn, and went to sleep. So with that being said, write your favorite oils. Like, we all work differently. Sometimes something that's not even recommended under pregnancy is killer in pregnancy or birth. So please tell us what you've used and what's worked for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome to know. Bye, guys.
See you guys.